que Pasa Calexico. Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before we begin, I want to thank a couple of people. First of all, I want to thank my friends here at Calexico Brewing Company for allowing me to record today's episode here today. Thank you so much. I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank my friends Camilo, Jake, Eddie Lopez from Roots Creative, Ms. Norma Galindo, IAD Director representing Division 5 and serving the entire Imperial Valley. Valley Sports Network, your Imperial Valley source for sports. Sergio's Tacos and Hotdogs, with 8 years of experience serving the Imperial Valley, San Diego, and Yuma counties with Mexicali-style hot dogs and taquizas. Contact Sergio at 760-562-0057 or look for Sergio's Tacos and Hot Dogs on Facebook. Eric Reyes from Los Amigos de la Comunidad, empowering communities together. Finally, I want to thank David Gastelum. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the Imperial or San Diego counties, make sure you contact David. He's not only a realtor, but an investor with over 20 years of experience, and he'll teach you along the way in one of the most important investments of your life. Make sure you contact David at 760-235-9576. Today, my guest is somebody new to this world of politics, you can say. My guest today is Ricardo Avila, who is running for Imperial County Assessor.
Assessors, yes.
Yeah. Thank you for stopping by. We were talking a little bit before we started, and you're a little bit nervous because
I'm actually a little bit nervous, but thank you for having me.
Before we begin into talk about your candidacy and all this, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm actually a first generation here in the Imperial Valley. Parents came from Mexico. My dad was a farm laborer, and he actually had a lot of pride of being a farm laborer. And growing as a kid, you kind of see that we didn't have everything, but we had everything. And that he was strong enough that he actually I have 4 siblings. He was able to put everybody through college. Oh, wow. So got an older brother. He became a librarian in Clark County. I got a sister. She's a counselor at IVC. And me, I decided to become a public servant at the age of 21. So I've been at the county, started about extra help, but then at 21, I was a full-time at a server department. So I was a civil engineer technician for them. And from there, I started off and stayed in the county. Maybe I jumped ahead, but got raised around Brawley. Oh, yeah. Went to a country school, Magnolia. Was proud of it from K to 8. And then from there, attended Brawley High School. From there, I attended IVC for 3 years. I got an AS in science, which is I was taking biology and chemistry classes. And then from there, got the opportunity to start working at Public Works as the surveying. And I stayed there and never left. Began my career. Jumped into the assessor's office as a cadastral mapper. Found my finding. I was there for a couple of years. And then after that, I had an opportunity. An engineering company, Tesco Engineering, I don't have to say names, but they gave me an opportunity to start, and I became a director of field operations. I was there for over 10 years, and it later on became Hell Engineering.
That's right.
I'm sorry. I was there for over 10 years, and in 2016, decided to come back to the county, and I became an appraiser at the assessor's office, and that's where I'm currently employed.
Okay. So a lot of people here in the county might not know what the assessor's job is. Can you, in your words, can you tell us a little bit what?
I'll keep it simple, I guess.
Yeah. That's the key.
So the assessor's office is, if you're a landowner, homeowner, commercial owner, industrial, commercial, ag owner, you probably get a tax bill. So what we do is we go and assess the property or the buildings and stuff like that, and then we put market values on properties. So when you get a tax bill, we're the ones that the office that will be doing that for you. And we try to be fair, and then we always put market value on the property. So that's what takes so long, and it's a process that goes from the recorders to us, and then that's where we get involved as an appraiser. So we do we put the values on properties.
So the assessors are actually out in the field assessing or does they have other people that are doing it for them?
No, we actually, when you get assigned something, you actually go to the field, do a site visit. You probably have to measure, update the records, come back, do your findings and do updates on the records, and then you put a value to the property.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned that, this is, your first time, exposing yourself. You're not a politician. Do you feel that the county assessor's position, is it a political position? I mean, you're running for that position, but is it something like you can compare it like to a city council member or a board for the board or for the IAD directors? Does it compare to that, or is
it is an elected position? So that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. It's a nonpartisan. So there is, no matter what, we follow guidelines from the state. So we have to be fair to anybody. It does not have any influence on who you support or who's supporting you. No, we're based on following the guidelines from the state. So it's a nonpartisan position.
Yeah.
You could be Democrat, it could be Republican, it could be anything else. It will not have. It should not have any influence on the position on the job.
So if somebody wants to be an assessor, what kind of experience? Because normally when somebody's running for an elected position, the subject always comes up of he doesn't have the experience for the position. Or when it comes to like something like this, how do you get a position or experience to become a good
right? So that's actually a good question. A lot of people you see that run for the assessors are people from outside, which they might have an experience as an appraiser, as a fee appraiser. On my case, I've been working there. I started off, like I said, on the mapping, which is kind of the beginning stage of the whole process of the whole assessor's office. So we do from mapping, just when they do subdivision. So I've been starting from the bottom, and I've been gradually going up and learning all the basic essentials, the backbone of how the whole department works. Now I'm at the appraiser side, which is the top part of the whole office. So you get the experience. It's by experience. You cannot. You could go to school, but this one is you study it. You have to get certified by the state, and to get educated, we have to do continuous studying. So you're never stop learning. The things change every year, so you have to be on top of it. A lot of reading. So it's by experience. It's being there at the office, and that's how you've been a qualified person.
But do you say that you being an employee at the assessor's office and all these different positions you've had kind of qualifies you as a good candidate for?
Yes, a knowledgeable person where if someone comes in, I'll have the experience to go from the basics to the top of the more sophisticated things, so I could be able to answer questions or get someone from the staff that could provide that service if someone ever has questions on it. Yes, I'll know who to contact or who to help out that person.
Yeah, and yeah, because I think interviewing a lot of the candidates, and especially now that we've been having more young people, running for office, that's something that's always coming up. Like,
yes, if I'm experienced, well, do I know what I'm getting into? Uh-huh. Yes, I want to say I have enough knowledge to get into that position to run this office. So I do feel comfortable and having the support to be in that position where this office, the staff is the key thing for the whole department. The office staff is the one that runs the office. We need a management assessor that would be willing to help the staff by having education, continuous education, by having them fight for them for races, for making sure that everything's on tack, keeping them stress-free, making sure they're motivated to come to work and not dreading to come to work. And I think that's the key, and that's where I'm going with. I'm trying to keep the office at something that you want to come to work. Mm.
And, after all these years working for the assessor's office, What made you decide to run now?
Personal, I guess. I was there. I've seen other assessors, and I saw how it ran. I enjoyed being there. Every day I came to work. It's tough work, but I enjoyed it. It was like a family. Now it's, like I said, it's personal, I guess, because there's a lot of issues that happens that you're stressed out. You're seeing, walking on eggshells, and that's not what a work environment should be. How does that affect the people? Then there's like, well, that seems like it's personal. It does in the long run affect the people, the community, because if we're short-staffed, if people are sick, they're not there, we're not turning around the work. If we keep the people, if a opening on a position comes up, let's fill it right away. If someone gets sick, let's have someone right behind them, educate them. So if someone gets sick, there's someone else alternative that could be there to run that department, that section, and we'll have answers, and the department will never shut down. I see it where if something doesn't happen, no changes can happen, maybe in 4 years, this office could be running into some trouble. And that's where I want to become the change, because I know that there's got to be some advocating for the office. And this is the time, and only time I could probably do it. And that's why I decided to be running for this position.
And you mentioned, community and turning out the work, making sure that, the job's getting done because it affects the community. What are some of the things that the assessor's office does that affects, businesses, property owners, even schools? I don't know where I read where, even some of the funding that gets given to schools is coming from the way that some of the property is taxed.
Right. So we don't put you see the cities, like everybody elects those bonds and stuff. So when we send the bill goes out from the tax collector, it has all that itemized. So the first office they call is us, because it will have our values, and then they start asking questions. I guess, let me try to see how I could answer that question. I'm spinning in my head right now. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm getting a little nervous. So the question was, again, how does the things that the assessor's office, the things that they do, how does it affect business owners? So a lot of our building records, we have building records people buy. Realtors, they come in, and insurance companies come by. If someone's a landowner or they have a residence, they want to make sure how their square footage, their price at when they purchased it, and all that stuff. That's what we provide. We have that. So people come in. What's happening now is like if we're running behind it, we're short staffed, it affects everybody, because then we're not being able to produce. If say you bought a house this month, maybe we're going to be for short staff, we might be getting into it 6 months later. And that affects you, because the bad thing about it, you might get a bill that's accumulating, where if we got it on time or get it a little bit faster, you would get a supplemental, you'll be on time. Mm-hmm. And that's helping the public a lot.
And what about like funding for schools or businesses? Like,
we don't have too much to do with that. So it's more a city. We will reflect that on their tax bills, and that's a different department. So we don't put a lot of that stuff. It's not on our department.
Okay, I see. Let me see. A couple questions here. And again, and this. This position is a little bit, like you said, it's a nonpartisan. It's
unique. Uh-huh. It's really unique compared to other elected positions. Yeah. So, yes.
And what do you think? Because a lot of the times, like I said earlier, we don't pay too much attention to the assessor's office, because, like I said, it can be non-controversial.
Right.
It's not dealing too much with political issues that are affecting our community.
Yes.
But why do you think that, the community should be involved in this election? And why do you think it's important that we have change, this time around?
Okay, so the changes in what the people of the community should be watching out is what is the assessor doing currently right now for them. There's issues that since I work internally, I work inside, that personally happened to me, and it's probably happened to other people. And I'm not going to speak for those people; I'll speak for myself. Mm-hmm. And where I've gone to different departments, or see how it could work to get, because we work with different departments inside the county. So we could work with the recorders, we could work with the auditors, we could work with tax collectors. So when you work with them, it makes everything easy. If there's a problem, you could go to that department. And there's problems right now where the communication between departments, it becomes a concern, an issue where you could probably even get in trouble for helping someone out, and they're in the same county. I mean, if you're working in the same county, you want to help each other out, make things flow easier, and that will help my department. It'll help other departments, and they'll just flow easy. And we're not walking on eggshells. You don't want to feel that way when you're helping coworkers from different departments.
Yeah.
So that's where I think people should be concerned, because sometimes they don't see that, and it's more internal, because someone else from outside could be running and they might have the grasp of what the office should do. Mm-hmm. But when you're inside, you see those issues, those concerns where you want to correct those things. Mm-hmm.
And going back to, we said that we were talking earlier that, this position, last time around, nobody ran against, the
right
incumbent. And because it's a really unique position, like,
yes.
Yeah, like I couldn't be like, I want to run for assessor because I might not know what the heck I'm doing, right. in that office. So
yes, anybody could run for the position, but maybe like saying trying to convince the valley to vote for you, then it'll probably be difficult. But I'm inside. I know how it works. Will I be learning? Every day you're learning stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's no stopping on the learning. So yes, it's a unique position where anybody can run, but you need to get a license. If you say someone from the outside ran and they win, they have up to a year to get that license to hold that position as assessor.
Okay, so you don't actually need it before you run?
That I know of, I do have it currently because I'm working there. Mm-hmm. But if you do run, I think you have up to a year to get that license.
Okay, yeah, and it's weird that
Yes.
I mean, I could probably run against you guys, but it's like I said, like I've never really paid too much attention to this position, but if you could tell the community why it's important for them to, make sure that they go out and vote. And not only for your position, but for anybody.
For anybody. I think this is going to be a election for the history for the Imperial Valley. Not just because I'm running, but the other departments and the other candidates that are running. It is a very unique year for the Valley for these elections.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I've been getting calls and emails left and right. We're busier now than ever, but yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's. Reading about it, because I like I said, I never paid attention to the position, but reading about it now, it's important that we, especially for somebody like me that owns property and businesses that have to pay taxes on their property. It's important that we have somebody that's
right. It's not. I always advocate education, and not just for staff. It's for the community too. Sometimes people they don't know what we offer. Sometimes people have a calamity in their home and they lose their home, but they decide to rebuild it as at the assessor's office. If there's that application where you could apply for the calamity, and it gives you a break of the time that your home was down, and it prevents you from being reassessed. Because if you do build it, there's conditions, there's a little fine lines, but there's benefits that's out there that people don't know in the community. And if I become assessor, I want to educate the public, because those are things that we don't go out. They don't know. And sometimes by the time we find out, it's too late. So it's something that everybody should be aware of.
Yeah. And working, because I work here in Calexico, and sometimes we are walking on eggshells as well. And it's important to have an office where like you're comfortable, working at, and being able to work well with, right. Not only your boss but everybody else. In the
exactly.
Office. And so if you could give somebody your elevator pitch, like a 2-minute pitch, what would it be to convince somebody to vote for you?
Now, let me see. It might not be an elevator pitch, though. It might be too long. The changes, I guess, that would come would be more in the not short term, but long run. Everybody's giving you the sales pitch of, I'm doing technology. I'm going to improve this. I'm going to get equipment. We have all that stuff. Is it a little outdated? Yes. Does it perform the work? We got the material. We got the equipment. We got the staff. Now it's get the people to get educated to use that material, to use those tools, so we can provide a better service. So we got it. We need to teach everybody how to get back and be the best person they could be for that position. And then in the long run, that's going to help out the community. And that's where I'm here. We got everything. We need to polish it up. Yeah. We got to look out for the people.
And like you said, like you're out there in the field. You're somebody that's always, work, out in the fields and know what it is to not be the boss, but be, below and you.
When you see someone and they're struggling. And that's why I tell people too, don't set up someone for failure. If you see someone, they're trying to learn. Sometimes you got to find out what's their strength. Sometimes it's not what they think it is. And sometimes you got to just work with them. And then in the long run, that's going to help the office. You might have to move them to a different position, and then they're going to bloom. They're going to be the best person for that position. Just they don't know. And you being there, you see how those people, you talk to the people, you study the people, and you know what you're going to do. And in the long run, just being there at the office, hey, you're going to make that office work a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. And you bring a different perspective to that position, because you obviously, work in that office and know the people that are, underneath and
above and below and everything.
On the sides and
and it's nice. And when you walk in, it's like greeting everybody in the morning. It feels good to be greeted. It feels good to say good morning, find out how their weekend went, and then at the end of the week, you wish everybody the same thing. It's like it's a family. It is a family. It's work though, but you still look out for each other.
And can you put your foot down when it's
you have to. And that's one thing that I might get frowned on if I become that, because you're going to have to put your foot down. Because I see the bad things. I see the good things and the bad things. So you got to work on everything, from the good to the bad. And so, I've been taking notes if I do get it where I have to be working on, and other things where you just got to give more people the props on how they're doing.
Is it, and you don't have to answer this, but is it awkward working in the office where you're running and campaigning against your boss?
It did become a little bit awkward. I didn't think it would have, because I'm remaining professional. When I decided to run, I actually went up to him, because I want to be transparent. I don't want him to hear from anybody else. I went up to him and tell him, hey, you know what? I decided to run. And that's why we're here. We're in the States, where this is the beauty of the whole thing. So later on, it did become awkward. There's a lot of little things I maybe don't want to talk about. But yes, it can awkward where there's more guidelines, there's more restrictions, I guess, or rules that have been popping up where I might have to take some days off because I am running against my boss and county ordinance, I guess. But I'll take it. I mean, I don't take it as an offense. I take it as a blessing. That's taking advantage of the whole things that pop up. Don't see the bad of it. See the good of it. Everything comes up.
And we talk about not being a political position, but it's a unique situation when you're run against your boss, it kind of becomes, office politics and not politics.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was going to be that way because I still don't see it that way. I don't want to think of that. If he would tell me to do something, hey, he's my boss. I will keep doing it. There's another chain of command now there where I got to follow it. Well, so I got to respect that. And it didn't make it even harder. Just if you know how to follow rules and you follow directions, hey, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any? I know you have ladies here that are helping you with your signage and your social media.
Yes.
Where can they follow your campaign on social media?
On social media, we got an Instagram and Facebook. It's Ricardo Avila for County Assessor 2022. Okay. On both of them, you can find them. So got a tremendous backing with staff. I kind of appreciate it. They're backing me up. So I'm just so proud of the people behind me and helping me out. They're pushing, motivating me. Sometimes it gets me a little stressed out.
You're the first person the first candidate that has a crowd when
I think you're gonna have to have that little box with the little drum rolls and everything so you get some side effects. But no, that's right here. That's it. That's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah, and it's because I've never ran a campaign, but I talked to a lot of people that have run a campaign, and it's hard to find people to help you out with signage or your social media. And,
yes.
And not talking about you, but I don't think you don't seem like somebody that's really into social media.
I had it, then I stopped, and I had to get back just for this reason. It's not something I enjoy, but I had to. Yeah, it's part of what it is now.
Yeah, and even for me, like for this, like I have to be on social media. And,
yes.
And I'm not the best either. But yeah, no, it's hard to find a crew.
Yes.
That backs you up. And
it was scary at first. And that's one thing I was getting nervous because I didn't know what to expect. When I started this, I didn't know what I really signed. I knew what I signed up for. I didn't know what came with it. And so I was kind of running lost at the first couple of weeks where later on I started reaching out. Some people reached out and then it was a blessing. Actually, everybody that's been coming to me, and I won't say names, but there's a lot of people that just guided me, started me. And then from there, it just kind of started rolling. Then another person came in, another person came in, another person came in. And it's like, and it's not that they're supporting financially. It's more guidance. So like where to do, how to do it, deadlines. And that's the beautiful of the people that are supporting me. Mm-hmm. And then when it started rolling, then the staff saw that coming and they think that from there, they jumped on and you know what, let's go with it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anything else that we didn't talk about that you would like to, add to our conversation?
Vote June 7th. Yeah, just like interact, be in the community. We got a beautiful valley. Let's make it grow, and it's people, it's us, it's everybody. Let's make the valley because I've been doing more community events that as like wow, I've been missing out on a lot of stuff. Going to different cities and their activities, it's amazing, and we always complain. There's nothing to do here. There's nothing coming out. There's almost every week you could do family activities. So I've been out there and I've been grateful and meeting new people. And so I have a purpose doing it right now. But I think after this, I'm going to keep participating in these activities because it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And something that, you mentioned that we always something. Oh, there's nothing to do here in the valley.
Right.
If you look around, there's always
a good thing to do. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for stopping by and sharing with us. Good luck with your campaign.
Appreciate it.
And thank you to your crew here. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening or watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.